Hello, how are you? I hope everyone is good, fine, healthy, and all well. So, we'll be studying different sections and different chapters, and there'll be different questions from each chapter, each section. Now, first chapter that we're going to study that is respiratory system, and there are about 50 questions from respiratory system, and we'll be doing 1 to 2 questions every day. Now, the first question about respiratory system that is about the oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. Before going to the question, let's go through the diagram or the curve that what is it actually. So as you can see, this is a graph of the oxygen saturation of the hemoglobin plotted on the y-axis against the partial pressure of oxygen that is located plotted on the x-axis. It is sigmoid in shape due to the way in which the heme molecule binds each of its 4 oxygen molecules with increasing affinity. Now, there are several factors that can shift the curve. So, go to the next slide. These are the characteristics. X-axis that shows the partial pressure of oxygen, y-axis oxygen saturation of the hemoglobin, and the shape is sigmoid. Now, as I told you that there are several factors that can shift the curve and help supply oxygen to more active tissues or increase the oxygen take up in the lungs in the times of increased need. Now, what are the different factors? What are the factors that cause the curve to shift to the right? And what are the factors that cause the curve to shift to the left? The factors that cause the curve to shift to the right are waste, hydrogen ion means decreased pH, waste carbon dioxide, waste 2,3 dBg, and waste temperature. Whereas the factors that cause the curve to shift to the left are low hydrogen ions, low carbon dioxide, low 2,3 dBg, low temperature, carbon monoxide poisoning, and HPA, fetal hemoglobin. Now about the hydrogen ion, the carbon dioxide, the 2,3-DPG, we'll be studying in the next slides. But let's know about the carbon monoxide, that how carbon monoxide causes the left shift. So as we know that the affinity of the hemoglobin for carbon monoxide, that is 200 times its affinity for oxygen. So whenever carbon monoxide that binds with hemoglobin, the affinity of the remaining sites for oxygen that increases, and then that causes an increased shift of the curve to the left. Now, what about the fetal hemoglobin? In fetal hemoglobin, the beta genes are replaced by the gamma genes, due to which there is increased affinity for the oxygen. Now, what is that helpful for? That in fetus, the increased affinity for the fetus that is higher than that of the mother, and that results in the movement of oxygen from the mother to the fetus. What about the temperature? In exercise, the temperature that increases the carbon dioxide, which increases the tissue pH, and then it stimulates the O2 delivery to the exercising muscle. Now, how do we remember this? Is the way mnemonic? Yes, of course, there is a mnemonic. For the right shift, just remember R for right shift and R for raised oxygen delivery. Left L for left shift and L for low oxygen delivery. Whenever there is low oxygen affinity, that means raised oxygen delivery. Whenever there is increased oxygen affinity, that means low oxygen delivery. So right shift means that raised oxygen delivery because of any cause that causes the hemoglobin affinity for oxygen to reduce. And left shift means low oxygen delivery, ultimately meaning the increased affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen. So R for right shift, R for raised oxygen delivery. Similarly, the factors are R for waste hydrogen, R for waste carbon dioxide, R for waste 2,3-DPG, R for waste temperature. And same goes for the left shift, low H, low COD, L, low 2,3-DPG, low temperature. What is Bower's effect? Bower's effect describes how carbon dioxide and hydrogen and concentration affects hemoglobin affinity for oxygen. And there is another effect called Haldane effect that describes how oxygen concentration affects hemoglobin affinity for carbon dioxide and hydrogen concentration. Now, what is the application of the Bower effect? As the blood passes through the lung capillaries, carbon dioxide diffuses out of the blood into the alveoli, thus decreasing the carbon dioxide in the blood. So when carbon dioxide is decreased in the blood, that will cause left shift, low oxygen delivery in the blood near the lungs. The oxygen will be present in the blood, which will be carried to the tissues. In the tissues, there will be increased oxygen that will cause curve to shift to the right, ultimately causing the release of oxygen in the tissues. So the whole Bohr effect thereby increases oxygen uptake at the lungs and then transport to the tissues. What is 2,3-DPG? It is actually the end product of red cell metabolism and binds to hemoglobin and decreases affinity of hemoglobin for O2, and it causes the right shift. It binds with greater affinity to deoxyhemoglobin than oxyhemoglobin, increasing O2 delivery to the tissues. So 2,3-DPG is produced whenever there is a state of chronic hypoxia, for example, high altitude chronic lung disease and anemia, where its production is stimulated and causes the curve to shift to the right, causing increased delivery to the tissues. Now let's come back to our question. What was our question basically? Question was the following causes which of the following causes the oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve shift to the right. So if you don't remember the concept, just try to remember the concept. If any case under pressure in the exam center you forget the concept, so just remember the mnemonic. Right shift means raised hydrogen ion, that means low pH acidosis. So first one, that's not the correct answer. Second one, high altitude that causes chronic hypoxia resulting in increased 2,3-DPG, that will causes right shift. Yes, that's B. Increased PCO2. Yes, raised PCO2. That causes right shift. Increased temperature. Yes, raised temperature. R for raised temperature. R for right. Low concentration. No, that causes left shift. So the correct answers are B, C, and D. Thank you.